Yo, yo, yo. It's your favorite trauma-informed fitness expert, Coach Mars, on the Mars Fitness Unlimited podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. On this show, I will share my views on all things holistic fitness. That means exercise, nutrition, stress management and trauma healing, and of course, lifestyle change. If you like the conversations I'm having on this show, please share this episode with your friends, and I'd love to hear from you as well. So don't be afraid to connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Now, let's get into the show. All right, so today's topic hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, ooh, what's the first thing I can teach my Fit Fam about when it comes to their mindset and how that connects to their body and how that connects to their outside world, right? And the very first thing I thought of was wounded mindset and victim mentality, right? And how you need to shift from being a victim and adopting a growth mindset in order to be successful. Okay, so that's essentially what this is. You healing your mindset is basically you letting go of the victim mindset, and you're done identifying as a victim. Okay, and moving forward, you're going to look at your challenges and look at your obstacles and look at your experiences moving forward as opportunities to grow. Okay, all right, so let's first talk about something that I think everybody should understand. Okay, you understand this, what I'm about to say right here will literally change your life. Change it forever. I'm forever changed because of this. Okay, your physical health, your body, is a reflection, a physical representation of your mental health. I'm going to say it again. Your body and the way it looks and how it functions and how it performs is a direct representation of how healthy you are in between the ears. Okay, your brain, your mindset. Okay, so for those people who struggle with losing weight, for those people who struggle with managing their stress, for those people who struggle, with overthinking and having an overactive brain, right? Those things tell me that you are not paying attention to your mental health, okay? And part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this first is because I've had tons of women come to me and they're ready to start their fitness goals, right? Their fitness journey. And they're like, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm like, okay, that's great. And then we get started and they don't have any mental health. Like, they don't focus on their stress management. They get 4 hours of sleep. They drink, alcohol every night and coffee every morning. Like, it's awful, right? And so it's hard for your body to show up for you if you're not showing up for you, okay? So understand that your health is a combination of your physical, your mental, and your emotional health, okay? For example, somebody who has a very stressful lifestyle, let's say you work 12-hour days and you have family at home, so you have a lot to do at the house, right? You don't have a lot of time to focus on your mental well-being, right? And so what a lot of people do is, instead of prioritizing that to get it done first, they put it at the bottom of their priority list. And sometimes it gets done and sometimes it doesn't, right? They wait until they have a mental meltdown or a freaking panic attack before they start focusing on their mental health, right? And their happiness and their peace. So somebody who has that kind of lifestyle is probably going to do what? They're probably going to eat a lot of junk food, right? They're probably going to eat out a lot because they don't have time to focus on themselves, or they feel like they don't have time to prioritize themselves, right? And so over time, their body starts to reflect that. Their body starts to gain weight because they believed that they did not have the time for themselves. Their body was a physical representation of the belief that they had in their mind, right? Going back to what I was saying earlier, your body is a physical representation of your mental health, okay? So let's talk about what a wounded mindset looks like, okay? What does it look like when our mindset isn't healthy, right? How do we know when we need to focus on our mental health? So first thing I want to use as an indicator are your feelings, your emotions, okay? Your anxiety, your depression, your stress, all of those negative emotions, they are signals and signs, signposts, whatever you want to call them. And we've been taught from, toddler years that those feelings are bad, right? You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be unhappy. You're not supposed to be depressed. You're not supposed to be anxious. You're not supposed to be stressed out, right? And so when we feel those feelings, we run from them, okay? And because we run from them and we avoid feeling those feelings, you miss the valuable pieces of information that those emotions have. They were created for a reason, okay? So when you get those feelings, that is a sign to you that something is not right. That is literally your internal compass telling you that you need to reroute, right? And if you don't reroute, you're not going to be creating a life that is centered on your values and your desires and what you want, right? So that's number one. Your negative emotions are your signals and signposts, okay? Number two is poor physical health, okay? If your body feels like shit, it's probably because you're not paying attention to your health overall, right? Your body is a physical representation of what's going on the inside, okay? So pay attention to your physical health as well. If you are constantly burnt out and you constantly have no energy, if it's hard for you to go to sleep at night, if you have no appetite or you have a problem overeating, right? All those are indications of something that needs to change in between the ears, okay? Last one is overworking, okay? Or trying to over distract yourself, okay? I used to do this. Let me know in the comments if you are a workaholic. If you are, this is a sign that you are using work or using activity and action to distract you from something else, okay? For me, I was distracting myself from my feelings. My negative emotions were not fun for me. And they're still not fun for anybody, right? But whenever I got sad or anxious or any of those, right, I would immediately go, okay, I'm just going to do some work. Or okay, I'm just going to read, or I'm just going to study, or I'm just going to do something else to shift my focus onto something that's more enjoyable for me or less painful, right? And because I kept doing that, I was missing the information that those emotions were trying to tell me, right? That stress was trying to tell me, hey, you've been working a lot. Maybe we should take a break, right? Your peace, balance, all that stuff is important, right? But I didn't think of it that way. And so I ran from my emotion and I overworked myself to the point of burnout. So if you get to the point where you are too tired, no matter what you do, right? Or you feel like you can't shut your brain off at night. It's like it won't shut up. Oh my God, I've been through that so many times. Or if you just feel like you have no balance in your life, like if you have no time for your social life, or if you don't have no time for your family, or if you don't have time for yourself, that's a problem, okay? As a human being, you're a social creature. So working is not what you were designed to do. Yes, it can be a part of your life. I think that's great. Everybody is good at something, right? Everybody's here to contribute something to society or something to this world. But that is not all you are here for, okay? You are not simply born to just wake up and go to work and make money and die, right? Life is way more than that. So let's get into how you're going to be able to heal all of these pieces of your mindset, okay? All of these signposts. So first off, I'm going to give you 6 of these, okay? So if you are new to the channel, make sure you bring a pen and paper next time I do a live, because I like to give lots of info, okay? So step number 1, look at your motives when you take actions, okay? When you do something, why are you doing it, right? When you're binge eating Oreos and watching Netflix for 3 hours, why are you doing that, right? If you are drinking 3 beers before you go to bed every night, why are you doing that, right? If you are working 18 hours a day, why are you doing that, right? Now, if that literally just makes you happy and it literally lights you up, then great, right? But I doubt any of those things make you feel like the best version of yourself, right? So look at your actions and then ask yourself, why are you doing this? Chances are you weren't the one who wanted you to do that, right? Somebody else taught you that you should be doing that thing, right? Or it's not acceptable if you don't do this, right? I struggled with this when I quit my job last year, okay? So for a lot of you who know me, in August, I quit Orange Theory for a few months so that I could focus on my family. And it was very nerve-wracking for me because I felt, I don't want to use the word shame, but I felt a lot of anxiety around work. And I felt like when I was at home, I wasn't doing enough, and I felt like I wasn't holding myself to the standard that everybody else was holding themselves to, right? Like, okay, you wake up, you go to work, you get a certain amount of money, you pay your bills, you handle business, right? And so I felt like, how do I put this into words? I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't doing enough, right? I wasn't good enough. But when I realized that the only reason why I was killing myself at a job every day or trying to work 40 hours a week was because somebody else told me that that's how it should be, I was like, oh, well, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. I never wanted to do that. The only reason I was doing it was because somebody told me I should, right? So look at what you're doing in your life and ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Is this aligned with what I want? Is this aligned with how I want to create my life, right? If you died tomorrow, right, you have to be okay with how you spent your time up until this point, right? So if you spent all of your life working and all of your life running from your feelings and all of your life putting off your goals and putting off your dreams, how's that going to feel? I'm just going to leave that there, okay? Tip number 2, mental hygiene is a must. Okay, I teach this to all of my clients. That is one of the very first things we do. Before I even give you a workout, we talk about your morning routine. We talk about how to plan ahead. We talk about how to manage your time. And we talk about how to take care of your brain, your mind, right? Stress management, right? Grounding and being present with yourself. All of that ties into mental hygiene, okay? For those of you who know somebody who has some type of like focus disorder, like I have a sister who has ADHD, so her brain is literally going a million miles an hour. So I don't know if that's you or somebody you know, but I'm going to use this as an example. When you do not pour into your mental health and when you do not focus on your mental hygiene, your brain becomes overactive. Okay, take it from somebody who's had like experience. I literally had a panic attack in the middle of college because my brain was going too fast. Literally. So what my sister does is when she notices that her brain is going a million miles an hour, she goes, okay, I know what's happening. I'm going to sit in my room. No TV, no phone, no music, no nothing. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to force my mind. I'm going to force my masculine energy, the part of me that wants to think and do and figure stuff out. I'm going to force it to sit the fuck down. Right? You're not in control. I'm in control. And I don't want to be all over the place right now. So I'm going to control my mind and not let it control me. Right? So I'm going to meditate. Or I'm going to do some yoga. Or I'm going to do whatever works for you. Right? For me personally, I don't do very well sitting still during meditation. So I walk in nature, and that's my walking meditation, right? But you have to find what works for you. So here are some ideas. Meditation is one. Journaling is another one. Affirmations is one. I use that one myself. But these last two I want to dive deeper into, okay? This next tool is called self-observation, okay? You need to practice watching yourself, right? Just like a parent watches their child. When they plan or when they talk in and when they do, right, they want to see who their child is becoming, right? So that they can have a say and that they can kind of help shape and mold that child, right? So you have to think of yourself the exact same way, okay? Your parents aren't here no more, right? The only person that's going to help you grow is you. So you have to kind of do some self-parenting, right? And you do that by observing yourself. So I like to do this whenever I experience a negative emotion. Like when I get angry, I kind of zoom out mentally and I will listen to what I'm saying. I listen to what I'm thinking about. I listen to all of the things that are encompassing my space right now. Okay. And that tells me what I'm focusing on. Okay. So like, let's say I get angry that, you know, I couldn't do a workout at the time that I planned. Right. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't go to the gym. Oh, I'm so mad. It's always something. I could just never catch a break, right? That's victim mindset. That's you allowing your external life to change how you feel. Okay? The alternative route, the growth mindset, is the opposite. Because I know I control my feelings and I know I control my mindset, I control the situation. I'm in control at all times. Even if I do not control what's happening to me, even if I don't control what's happening in my immediate environment, I still get to choose how I respond, which means I always have power, right? So when you self-observe, you allow yourself to pick your power back up. Because if you're reacting and you're impulsive and you're allowing the external world to affect your actions and affect how you feel, you have no power. You have none. Okay? So, self-observation is the next tool, the next part of mental hygiene. And then the last tool is self-reflection. Okay? After you observe yourself, you need to go, is that who I want to be? Is that really part of my personality, or can I change that, right? Well, I've always been that way. Well, do I have to always be this way, right? Challenge yourself. Reflect on the things that you observed, okay? So that's my tip on mental hygiene, okay? Tip number 3 of healing a wounded mindset. You've got to start managing your stress and your sleep, okay? I cannot stress this to you guys enough. I did not understand how important stress management was until my nervous system was fried. And I had, a terrible, freaking piss poor sleep routine, okay? Stress management can mean anything for you, okay? For me, it means a bunch of things. I use working out. I use walking meditation. I use my night routines and my morning routines and all that stuff to kind of help me manage my reactions to stressful situations and stressful stimuli, okay? For example, when I go to work at Orange Theory, I would say I'm in a pretty high stress environment, right? I'm coaching up to 30 people all at one time, right? And they're all in different groups and they're all doing different things. And I got a stopwatch and I got to play music and I got to look at everybody's heart rate, right? I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff, right? But because in the morning I sit there and I ground myself and I decide how I want to feel and I decide how I'm going to present myself for the day, it doesn't matter what comes my way, right? It doesn't matter if class goes completely wrong. It doesn't matter if somebody cusses me out. It doesn't matter if somebody flicks me upside the head. It doesn't matter because I have zoomed out, right? I know I'm in control because I took the time at the beginning of my day to remind myself, right? So stress management has got to be a part of your routine. Even if it's not every day, do it twice a week, 3 times a week, right? The Martian Gang, for example, will be doing a guided group meditation in about 30 minutes. For those of you that are in the Martian Gang, get ready. So that's something that we do on Mondays to kind of help everybody just woosah, right? And then they can take that throughout the rest of their week and rinse and repeat, and that helps them keep a lid on their stress levels, right? And so now they don't have to wait until they're burnt out or until they have a panic attack or until they blow up on somebody to figure out that they have issues, right? Okay. Manage your stress and your sleep. I'm not even going to get into sleep. You know you should be getting 8 hours of sleep, okay? Tip number 4. I got 3 more. Assess your positive self-talk. How do you talk to yourself, okay? When you mess up, what's the first thought that comes into your head? Is it a, oh, it's okay. It's, everybody messes up kind of thing. Or is it a, God damn it. Why can't you do shit right? Like, golly, if I could just freaking do something right, I swear things would get better, right? Those are 2 very different dynamics, right? Those are 2 very different, what's the word I'm looking for? Tones. That's the word I was looking for. Tone. So you need to assess your self-talk, right? And this is done through self-observing yourself. When you are going through something or when something happens to you, you stop and you go, okay, what's going on in my head? What am I thinking? Okay, what am I doing on a physical level, right? So when you're assessing your self-talk, you're going to find thoughts that you don't like, right? Everybody has negative thoughts. And the most important thing to do when you catch one of those thoughts is to replace it, okay? So like, let's say you miss a workout and you start beating yourself up mentally. And you're like, oh my God, how are you ever going to lose weight if you can't do a damn workout? You didn't, track your macros today and now you didn't work out. You ain't never going to lose weight, right? You stop. And first of all, you say, I am sorry to yourself because you literally just abused yourself on a mental level. But secondly, you say, how can I replace that dialogue so that I feel better about myself? Because if I keep tearing myself down, there's not going to be anything left at some point, right? If you keep talking shit about yourself, there will be nothing left eventually, right? So you replace that with, okay, today was a hard day. I had a lot going on and I couldn't get my workout in and I couldn't track my macros. But it's not about perfection. It's about consistency, right? So I'm just going to start again tomorrow. That thought, that conversation was way better than the conversation I just had before it, right? And because you had a much better conversation in this example, you're probably going to work out the next day. And you're probably going to feel good doing it because you were your own cheerleader. You encouraged yourself, right? So that is one of the biggest tips I can give you today. Be your own cheerleader, okay? Assess your positive self-talk and talk to yourself better. If you wouldn't say it to your spouse or to your partner or to your kids, why the fuck are you saying it to yourself? Just being honest. Tip number 5, check the body, okay? Check the body. If the body is tight, the mind is probably tight, right? Like when I'm stressed, this happens. My shoulders hunch up. I get real tight in my back and all my neck gets constricted, right? So when I notice this happening, that's a sign that my brain is doing too much. I'm overthinking. I'm being anxious. I'm not being present with myself, right? So I sit down. I focus on my body, right? I tune in and I just kind of reset myself. I bring my shoulders down. I unclench my jaw. I relax my torso a little bit, right? All of those things are signs that you are stressed, okay? So your body is a reflection of your mental state. So you can immediately check into the body and go, okay, how do I feel? I feel a little anxious. That probably means you're having anxious thoughts, right? I'm feeling a little tight. Okay, that probably means you're stressed, okay? So check the body, see how you feel, and then correlate that to how you're feeling mentally, okay? Last tip. If you've been writing stuff down, I want you to put a star by this one, okay? This one literally changed my fucking life. This kind of veers off of positive self-talk, but I wanted to give it its own category. Number 6 is listen to the stories you tell yourself about what happens to you, okay? For example, all of the health issues that I had or have, I used to tell myself that those things were like weights, like holding me back. Well, I can't, run track in college because I have a heart problem and I'm anemic and I'm too small and all of these things, right? But it wasn't until I stopped telling myself those lies and stopped believing these stories that I was telling myself based on assumption, right? And I actually took action and bet on myself and I tried, right? Actually, there might have been 2 of us, but I think I was the only person in my entire, class in high school that went from running track in high school to running track in college. There might have been 2 or 3 of us, but the point is that nobody thought that I would be able to do that. Not my doctors, not my coaches, not even me, right? And I went on to run 4 years and live out my dream because I believed I could. And because I stopped telling myself stories about what I could and couldn't do, right? All right, so stop telling yourself stories. And if you are, listen to them and self-assess, right? Oh my God, I'm never going to lose weight. That's a story. Oh my God, I can't. I don't have time. That's a story. Oh my God, I don't have the money. That's a story, okay? Again, you're letting your external affect you and how you feel. And if you're ever going to be the master of your life, you've got to reverse it. You've got to reverse it. You've got to go, okay, I know this doesn't look optimal right now. I know it doesn't look like I'm in control, but I am. Because I know I control my thoughts and my feelings and my actions. That's the only thing I can truly control. So I'm going to control that 100%. I'm going to fucking master myself. I'm going to fucking master the decision-making process so that at every moment, at every second of every day, I make the best choice for myself. I make the most aligned choice for myself. I make the choice that's going to feed and pour into my cup, right? And not somebody else's. So those are my 6 tips for you guys today. I'm going to recap them just real quick so you guys can have them. But feel free to watch this video as many times as you'd like. Okay? So tip number 1, look at your motives. Okay? You've got to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. If you're unhappy with your life or you're unhappy with your body, this is a must, okay? Tip number 2, mental hygiene needs to be incorporated into your weekly routine, okay? For me, it's part of my daily routine. I literally cannot start my day until my morning routine is complete, okay? So mental hygiene can look like meditating. It can look like journaling. It can look like walking in nature. It can look like self-observation and looking at yourself and what you're thinking about and what you're doing, right? And it can also look like self-reflection and learning from what you observed, okay? Number 3, manage your stress and your sleep, okay? Anybody up in here trying to lose weight, anybody trying to lose body fat, that is a major key right there. You will not permanently lose weight until you can sleep and manage your hormones and your stress like a boss, okay? It's just how it is. Tip number 4, assess your positive self-talk. If you wouldn't say it to your friend and you wouldn't say it to your partner, why the hell are you saying it to yourself? There shouldn't be anybody else that you respect more than yourself. There shouldn't be anybody else that you value more than yourself. There's only one of you. There's only one of you in the entire universe. Past, present, and future. You're valuable. Okay? Tip number 5. Check the body. If the body is tight, the mind is probably tight too. Okay? And then tip number 6. Listen to the stories you tell yourself. Okay? I had a client last week. We actually talked about this. He was like, I gained weight this week, and so that means I'm not working hard enough, and I gotta do more. And I'm like, no. You're telling yourself a story. There are millions of reasons why you could be gaining weight right now. You don't know, right? But you assumed something about yourself based on what you believe about yourself, but we'll get into that later. And you immediately ran with the story, right? But after I checked her profile, I was like, girl, you're doing excellent. You PR'd on 3 exercises. You probably gained some muscle. You hit your macros, so I know you're not overeating. This is a good sign, right? And I literally had to walk her out of that storytelling process, right? So do this with yourself. When you get frustrated and when you get down and when you get sad, ask yourself, what story am I listening to right now? What story am I buying into? And if I don't like it, why am I still buying into it, right? I get to create my life, so I might as well create the story. All right, you guys, I hope this live was super helpful. I love talking about this stuff. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a DM. Also, too, if you are ready, and I mean ready, to fix your mindset, heal your wounded mindset, and shift into more of a growth mentality, I've got a course for you, okay? Check the link in my bio and check out the Master Your Mindset Masterclass, okay? I specifically designed this course to help you reach your fitness goals. I primarily focus on fat loss with my clients, so it's geared more towards that and keeping your weight off once you're done, right? So hit me up if you got any questions on that. But other than that, you guys, I hope you have a good rest of your Monday, okay? I'm about to go love on the Martian gang and do a guided group meditation.